Hey everybody. So a lot has changed. Usually I have Aaron sitting next to me and I'm used to saying this is Raw Vibes with A and V, or usually he's saying it. But a lot has changed over the summer, over the course of 3 months. I am extremely nervous because my support person isn't here, which was Aaron. So I'm doing this podcast by myself, which will now be by myself, or whoever I have come on, or people I meet locally, or Fuega. So bear with me on being nervous. I'm sure I'll get used to talking to nobody in the room and you guys out there. So I have decided to rebrand since it's no longer Raw Vibes with A and B. It will be Raw Daisy Vibes. Raw Daisy is something that has been a part of my life for years now. I've had different adventures with the Raw Daisy name, doing like lotions, scrubs, chapsticks, yoga, thrifting. So the Raw Daisy name has been in my world for quite some time. So I've decided to incorporate it into the podcast. So Raw Daisy Vibes, here we are as a podcast, as a vlog, blog, whatever everybody's calling it now. As you saw over the summer, I came to Florida, and I haven't posted in a while because I've been extremely busy. So back in Springfield, Illinois, I was working as a teaching assistant or paraprofessional. And so I had the summers off and decided to come down to Orlando, Florida to visit my parents. And at one point came down to the Satellite Beach area, which is southeast of Orlando, and visited a friend. And I'm just going to tell about the story of like what's been going on basically. And obviously being neurodivergent, I'm going to be all over the place and still being a little bit nervous about talking about it and being vulnerable. So I'm at my friend's house, and by the ocean, by the beach, the sun, the pool, the palm trees, all of it, I started crying and realized, I probably get emotional, I didn't want to go back to Springfield, Illinois. And at that moment, being who I am, I can be very impulsive, but I also knew I had to be smart with my decision. And it's not just me, it's also Fuega, Aaron, my friend Sam, like just my parents, a lot of factors that I needed to take into consideration and not be extremely selfish. So as I'm sitting there crying, I messaged a friend just saying like, I don't want to go back. Like I can't go back. And I'm going to take it back to about 4 years, 5 years, almost 5 years, when I got divorced. And I was in a very traumatic relationship. My marriage was not good. I was married to a narcissist. And I don't say that lightly because that word gets thrown out there a lot. He's textbook narcissist. And towards the end, I knew that I needed to get away from him. And I didn't want to raise my daughter with someone like that and have the potential of her becoming a narcissist as well. So that's when I made the decision almost 5 years ago, I'd say, to move back to Springfield because I needed help. I needed help in every way possible. And I needed to live somewhere that was a lot cheaper. So I didn't want to move back to Springfield. It was something where my life choices, the divorce, the end of the marriage, all the trauma took me back to my hometown. So I went back to Springfield and reconnected with some people. I did think I would have more relationships than I actually did. And I know there's probably a couple people out there who aren't too happy with my just leaving. However, I think I needed more support than people were able to give me. And that's okay. It is what it is. Life has chapters, and that was a chapter. So I moved back to Springfield, not really wanting to move back to Springfield, but knowing I needed to get out of that situation. So living there the first year, not so bad, but always knowing that I didn't always want to be in Springfield. That's not where I wanted to raise Fuega, like at all, not at all. I've always been a beach person. I own a million bikinis. I love summer wear. I love the heat. I love being sweaty. Even right now, the apartment's 78 degrees. I'm sweating. Like, that's just the lifestyle I love. Bohemian, hippie type of lifestyle, a more calm, slower paced lifestyle. And that works for me also with dealing with anxiety, OCD, my neurodivergencies. It's just a way chiller lifestyle here. There's no one like rushing you. There's a little bit of traffic. I'm in Melbourne, it is a decent sized city. I'm 20 minutes from the beach. Like, people aren't honking their horns. People aren't like on you, you know? I go to Walmart, which I never go to Walmart in Springfield, and it's calm, it's quiet, it's peaceful. I go to Publix, it's quiet, it's clean, it's peaceful. There's a lot more health food stores, there's a lot of more wellness places. And that was another thing I've been dealing with for the past, since about February, January. Our furnace had broken, and I went through a lot of stress with having to get hotel, Airbnb, fixing the furnace, going through all that stuff. It took a huge toll on my body, physically and mentally. So not sure yet what's going on, but I was misdiagnosed. I did a post about it where they had said I had hernias in my diaphragm. That is not true. They misdiagnosed me, and I guess that same person misdiagnosed someone else. So we still don't know exactly what's going on. I've been to the hospital since I've been in Florida, maybe about 4 times with this breathing issue. A lot of people are saying anxiety. I'm not really sure what to believe. Do I feel better when I'm down here in Florida and down near the beach? Yes. Is that because I could be more calm? 100%. I was also dealing with a mold issue. A lot better with that, with some of the supplements I was taking. As most of you, if you know me, I go more holistic route, oregano oil, IgG supplements, some other things that maybe I will do a podcast about at some point. I'm very health conscious, always have been. So living down here is just a lot better. There's a lot more health food stores, a lot more just holistic type of things, just a lot more relaxation. So that's one of the reasons why I left, or I've said multiple already. I just didn't want to go back to Springfield. I'm grateful for my hometown, and I'm grateful for those people there. It's just not the place where I have really ever wanted to be or wanted to go back to. And I always had multiple people say, would you go back and live in Florida? Because that's where I was living before, in Orlando, Florida area. And I said, I would never go back to Orlando area. It's too fast paced. It's wild. The traffic is crazy. They're always building something. It's always growing. It's just too wild for me. But I always had told people, if I go back to Florida, I want to go back to a beach area that's already established. So when I came here and I was like crying, I was just like, this is where I need to be, and I need to figure out a way now and figure out just how I could do this. Because I knew I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go back at the end of the summer. I kept my job and I kept everything going like I was going to go back, because I was going to go back, because there was nothing set up yet. However, I started looking into, and I talked to a friend here who's in the school district of Orange County, getting a lot of information. So another reason for me moving is back in Springfield, I was enrolled in UIS. I was going to get my teaching certification, go back to college. But for someone who's neurodivergent, and I struggled in school, like I am ADHD, but I'm not extremely book smart. Like I struggled a lot in school. So going back to college was weighing very heavily mentally and financially. I was like, how am I going to afford this? Did I get scholarship? Yes. But was that going to pay for everything? No, not at all. So I found out here in Florida, since I have a bachelor's degree, I can go back and get my teaching certification, basically probably under $500. I sign up for classes, I pass the classes, I have 5 years for this certification, and then I think they figure out with my college degree what I might need credit-wise. So a lot different path. Am I nervous about that? Yes. Have I started that process? Kind of. I will start more of the studying in December when I'm more like settled down. Everything's kind of calm. I had that month of December off. So that was another huge reason for me to move. And then another one is Fuega. It was not easy on her at all. She cried, and I took her to the beach, and she basically buried herself in the sand. And that was one of the first times that she wouldn't speak to me. Like, we have such a great relationship that we talk about everything. And some people say we talk too much about things, but I disagree with that. And that was the first time she wouldn't talk to me. She just sat there and buried herself in the sand, literally buried herself, dug a hole, got in it, and she wouldn't talk to me. And then eventually she did. After a while, I said, "Do you want a snack?" And that got her. Of course, every kid wants a snack. So, I kind of explained to her. And another thing is, Fuega's gifted, and she is so smart, and I want to give her every opportunity I can, and every opportunity I want to help her, because I had help, but she's just so smart, and I believe she can go so far. And I know everyone says, "Oh, my kid is this, my kid." She's very smart. She is something special, and I feel that she deserves every opportunity that I can try to give her. And no matter if that might hurt her in the moment, or she's mad at me, or this and that, I have to remember I have to be a mom, and not be so empathetic. Because one thing I have to remember is that her feelings are not my feelings, or other people's feelings are not my feelings. Because that was another big thing, is that I'll bring it around to Aaron. Everyone loves Aaron, and I love Aaron probably more than anybody. And that was one of the big things that I was thinking about. How am I going to talk to Aaron about this? How am I going to talk to Aaron about this? And it was hard. He heard me crying. He heard the emotion in my voice, and definitely hurt. Aaron can take things personal, which is not a bad thing. But it wasn't about him. It wasn't about anybody else. It was about me and what I needed to do for my daughter. Aaron is still a huge part of our lives. We talk to him daily. He will never go away. So, but it was a big thing for me to remember that other people's feelings are not my feelings. And so with Aaron and Fuega, I had to keep thinking, their feelings are not my feelings. Their feelings are not my feelings. And I had to do what's best for myself and for my daughter. But it wasn't easy. And let me go back to Fuega being gifted. So here in Florida, she's got really great opportunities to get college for free. I can't really explain the whole process because it's still new to me, and there's so much going on in my brain that I'm struggling to even remember things. But there's testing that she can do where basically she goes to college for free. She can start in high school getting college credits. She can start volunteering. She can work somewhere and get paid, and also have that as volunteer hours. So there's just a lot of opportunities for her, and she deserves that. She deserves everything that I can give to her. So I know I haven't posted in a while, and this is why, because I ended up finding an apartment. Had to have a lot of help from my parents, which I'm so grateful for. Like, I could not have done this without them. And a lot of talks, like talking with my parents, and a lot of, I think, growth in our relationship, which I'm so grateful for. Because I'm a very emotional person, and it can be very hard on other people. So I'm very grateful for that. So finding an apartment in a good area where we feel safe. And this place is amazing. I love it. It's small. And that was another aspect, is that I was living in our childhood home, and it's a great home, but it was just too much for me to handle. I am not good at being able to take care of too many things. It's just not in my nature. It causes me a lot of stress. And then when I get stressed, it comes out physically. I drop a lot of weight. I have cortisol issues, chronic fatigue. So having an apartment and managing an apartment is a lot easier for me. We're in a 2-bedroom. It's perfect size. It's quaint. It's cute. It's adorable. We have a front patio area for my gym stuff. And we have a back patio area that's behind the camera that I post about. have plants. It's absolutely beautiful. The neighborhood is secure. There's actually an association where I had to have an interview. And I really love that. There's rules. And as much as I'm ADHD, I'm also slightly autistic. So I love rules. I'm a rule follower slightly. So the community is safe. And then I was able to, since I have a degree and I've been working in the school district and wanting to work with special education students, I was able to get a job pretty easy and pretty fast. And I actually had a few job offers, toot my own horn, beep, beep. And so I am going to be working at an elementary school right down the road, super, super close, just like my other school was right down the road. And Fuega will be going to that school. It's a little bit different here. They do kindergarten through 6th grade, and then you go on to middle school. So we will have 1 year where we are together in the school, which I'm really grateful for because my parents are in Orlando, which is an hour and 20 minutes away. So we're basically kind of here alone. So it'll be a lot easier for us to be at the same school for at least a year until we can figure out everything else. So I'm working as a behavior tech. I have not started yet. I just had fingerprinting, drug testing, the whole onboarding thing done on Thursday. So I'm waiting and waiting because as much as I love the summer vacation, like I'm ready to get back into work. I'm ready to get into a schedule. My neurodivergency, being ADHD, I thrive on a schedule. Like I have notes written down. I have a schedule. Like I've been off schedule. So basically I came down here this summer and fell in love, and I needed to come back and I needed to bring Fuega here. And I'm grateful for everyone who's helped, everyone who's been supportive. And I just figured I needed to get back online. I did post some videos of our trip in Puerto Rico, and I have a couple other videos that I haven't been able to work on yet that I would love to get out at some point. So basically a rebranding. Like I said, again, the name's Raw Daisy Vibes, and I came up with a new logo. I hope you guys like it. It's cute. Thank you, Canva AI, or whatever it's called. So I hope that you guys just follow along on this journey. So love everybody and peace out.